Welcome back to the James and Dame Show. We're back here with another mock draft, and we're ready to do better than last time.
Do you think we're ever going to be better?
Are we ever going to improve upon last time? I think last time was perfect. Couldn't
be better?
Yeah, definitely. Anyway. No, this is our 2.0 mock draft. Yeah, let's get into it. See what changes here. Started back on the board with Bears at 1. Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever going to change. I think that's
pretty obvious.
Commanders at 2. I still think it's May or Daniels.
I think we had Daniels going to Washington.
We did. I could see. It's how likely do you think that? How sure do you think the Commanders are that Daniels is their guy, or do you think that they think Daniels is their guy, or they lean in a little bit more May? Because I could see him going. I definitely can see him going Daniels just because of who they have on their staff. But
I feel like if I'm going to think about this correctly, if I'm even thinking correctly, it makes sense to draft either QB, mostly because both of them have their own unique abilities. They're very talented. Obviously, I have a bias because I think Jaden Daniels is a little more talented than May. Obviously, that's bias. But I think it's pretty split 50-50 what they're going with. I think the smart move is to go with Daniels, but knowing the Commanders, they could go for May, mostly because what is it? What did we agree on last time? That May has a better arm strength compared to Daniels?
He has a stronger arm. He's a little bit less athletic. Daniels is more of a scrambler. He's more of like a playmaker, but Drake May is more in that like traditional quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is like both the Commanders and the Patriots in years past, that would make so much sense, but both are under new regimes. So I think if it's 50-50, I think this time we could go with them taking Drake May.
Yeah. I think May would, because I can see both going to Washington. I think Daniels is the smarter move, but I don't know.
Yeah, we can go May here.
I don't know. I just don't see. I don't know. It's either May goes to Washington or he goes to the Patriots. I don't see him going anywhere else. So
that's fair. I have an interesting proposition. Do you think someone like the Patriots would trade down here?
I don't know. See, the thing is, this is the first year without Belichick, and he's had a lot of say with the draft picks. So I don't really know what the front office will do, mostly because, I mean, like I said, first year without Belichick. I have no idea how they draft. I know they do a lot of defensive pieces, especially recently. So I'm not entirely sure what they would do on offense. I can see them trading down, but knowing the quality of the QB class that's coming in, they might not. I can see them trading down, but also the smarter move is to stay where they are. Probably not trade down, because I think if Daniels gets taken, it's May. If May gets taken, I think it's Daniels. Like it's like a swap thing. Like it could be either or. We could see those QBs being changed. We could also see like J.J. McCarthy going to the Patriots for some random reason, because his name and his stocks have been going up because they've been hyping him to be a very promising QB going into the NFL. So I don't know.
I think they take quarterback regardless, but they also do have a big need for receiver. I guess it wouldn't be so much a trade back, but with the quarterback depth in the early quarterback depth, do you think they could also maybe take Marvin Harrison here and take like a Bo Nix, Michael Penix at the top of the second, or trade up a little bit and take him bottom of the first? Or do you think it's purely just quarterback here? Because, I mean, again, I don't know what they're doing either.
Yeah. Because I can't assume that they're going to stick with quarterback because Belichick isn't there. Because I know Belichick, it's all defense except like maybe QB and then a couple other tight end prospects. But I'd say if they're there, they're there. They might go for a QB at this point, mostly because if they want a QB that's going to be the face of that franchise for the long term, they're going to need a name, a big name. So I'd say here they would pick a QB and then save like wide receiver going in later because what is it? I know their wide receiver room is like really, really bad, but there's also not better, but there's more wide receiver prospects later down the draft. Trying to see here. There's a lot of trying to find some good wide receivers. There's Devontae Walker. There's Purcell. There's Wilson. There's Corley. Like there's Polk. Like there's talent down there. It's just I think first they need to go with a QB.
That's fair, and I know you value QB very highly. So
well, it's not that I value them very highly. It's just they need the QB in this situation. If they had at least a mediocre QB, I think they go with wide receiver here. They don't have a QB right now. They need one desperately. So I think the QB decision is like immediate. So
okay.
Do you think Daniels or do you think they're going to go bold and go McCarthy?
I don't know that I'd say blow it, but I don't know that I don't know who their offensive coordinator is going to be because again, Mayo is he was a linebackers coach, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So I don't know how and they have a new GM, so it's really hard to tell what they're going for.
I mean,
on offense going forward.
If Mayo is a linebackers coach,
he's going to take a linebacker. I'm just kidding.
No. Do you think they would go with McCarthy here? Because McCarthy has sat behind a pretty decent defense, or not behind a defense, but if you have a linebacker coach at the offensive coordinator, he would highly think of like protecting the QB rather than having like a very athletic QB. So if they have a solid O-line, they might go McCarthy here. But if they don't, they might go Daniels here. Because I can see either or. It's just how much do you trust that O-line and how much do you trust Mayo to get the job done with what he has?
Yeah, that's true. And also, we've said, McCarthy's stock has gone up a bunch. It is possible that someone takes him here over Daniels.
I see J.J. McCarthy being taken by the Patriots as well. I think the Patriots, they would prefer McCarthy and then Daniels, mostly because May and McCarthy fit their scheme better than Daniels.
Assuming
if their
scheme
stays. But I don't know.
I could see McCarthy I think it's very possible that McCarthy goes here. I think with his stock raising the way it has, he's either going to fall a lot or he's going to get picked earlier than he probably should.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that he won't perform exactly, but that he is not valued at a number 3. But I think McCarthy could go here, And I think if they believe in McCarthy, who is more traditional of a quarterback than Daniels is, I think they could go that if they're still looking at a traditional quarterback. So I could see.
I can see McCarthy going here.
So take McCarthy here. Cardinals come on the board.
Wide receiver is the biggest need, according to a lot of analysts.
I mean,
not saying that they're
it's receiver and defense.
receiver and defense, but I'm just saying that
They take their backup quarterback of the future. No.
I would say
Marvin Harrison. It's
Yeah,
it's Marvin Harrison
Harrison.
or trade down.
I would say Marvin Harrison because if he's there, I would take him.
I agree.
But then in the Chargers situation,
I think Chargers
take
situation.
neighbors.
I think I stand by what I said in the last video. If the Cardinals don't trade down, the Chargers will.
What would they trade down for? Just anything.
They like whatever they can get. It's I think they'd be open to trade down here as long as they get the right amount of value. The question is who would move up here, and if Jaden Daniels is still on the board at 5, you're gonna have a lot of teams calling.
Yeah. So.
And they're willing to deal.
All right. Who needs?
Giants. I don't think
They're stuck in the.
they are in the Daniel Jones era, but
They're stuck in that contract.
they could try and move on from him and just sit because if they're still trying to win, I think quarterback would be helpful. But they're at 6, and so I don't know that they would try. They could try to move up one spot just to lock it in if Jaden Daniels falls to you at 6. I mean, I think they'd be pretty stupid not to take him there.
Yeah.
Trading up one spot, maybe. Trading up more is a little bit where it gets iffier. But I think at 6, I think they just hope that he falls. And I think you're looking at it's the same 3 teams, Vikings, Broncos, and Raiders. And
I can see.
it makes... I know we did it last time, but it makes even more sense with the Chargers being here.
Mm-hmm.
If the Chargers want to trade down, Vikings
are
giving up more, and they're not a division rival.
Mm-hmm.
I
would do that.
I think Vikings trading up for Vikings trading up to 5 with the Chargers.
Daniels.
So Chargers trade down. Ironic, that would lead you. That's funny. That'd lead to. They'd probably look for more because they need so much. But that's funny. It gives them 11, 12, 13 in the AFC West.
Mm-hmm. So I think for
Vikings trade up, they get Daniels here.
Yeah. So then the Giants,
they could trade down. They could get Neighbors. They could also go Joe Alt here.
I mean, he's like right there.
Yeah, trade down probably not as likely. It'd be, do they go receiver? Do they go tackle? A lot of people have them taking quarterback or receiver, but that O-line was really bad last year.
They might stick with an O-line here.
They could.
The smartest decision would be O-line. That doesn't mean they're gonna.
No, because again, they also don't have weapons. So, especially with the loss of Saquon Barkley, I would probably still stick with them going Neighbors or Odunze. The thing is, there have been character concerns with Malik Neighbors. New York being in around a big city, do you think that deters them from Neighbors and pushes them towards Odunze?
It could. I can see Odunze going to the Giants.
Yeah, because I think that's the. They're both really talented. I think Neighbors is closer in skill level. Obviously, different skill type, but skill level to Harrison. Odunze is a little bit below. I think you have Harrison, Neighbors.
Yeah, Harrison,
and
Neighbors,
and
and
down
then
here
Odunze,
a little bit, which is still to say they're still the upper echelon.
Oh,
but
definitely. It's just I think the Giants need to pick Odunze, or they need to go
Neighbors.
Neighbors.
It's one of the two.
Do you want to say Odunze just for the hell of it?
Yeah, I think they could go Odunze with if they have character concerns.
I mean,
And I think he kind of fits that Dable offense, anyways.
yeah, he does, but also remember the last time there was a big wide receiver name in the Giants? OBJ.
Oh,
Character issues. So
Yeah.
they might
That could
have
push
Vietnam
him.
War flashbacks and be like, let's go Odunze.
I could see that. I can see them moving things around. Titans.
They need
O-line. Joe Alt here.
Yeah, Joe Alt, I'd say. I mean, he's right there. They need him, so.
He's the highest valued tackle. I think that's pretty
Sure.
easy if he falls.
Falcons. They need anything defensive. So
I still
I'd
think this
say-
is edge.
Yeah. Do you think Turner or Latu? I can see Turner going here. What is it? Alabama. So
It definitely would be Turner or Latu, I think. I mean, they could reach with, or I guess it wouldn't really be a reach, but they could go for Chop Robinson. I think it's still between these two, and the question is, are the injury concerns with Latu as bad? Does he? Hello. You may be noticing that we are wearing different clothes.
yeah.
We had some technical difficulties, but we are back to finish the mock draft from where we left off at number 8 with the Falcons on the clock. We were talking about Latu and his injury concerns, and if the Falcons find him not to really be as much of an injury concern, like if the injury concerns aren't there as much as we thought, we think that's probably we think that might be where the Falcons go. And I think obviously Dallas Turner being probably the safest option for them here, but if they make aggressive moves, they have in several years past, every year at number 8. But they make the aggressive move, and I think the aggressive move here is Latu.
Yeah.
So long as that injury risk is not as bad as people think, I think that's completely reasonable. So we're going to go Latu here.
Yep.
All right, cool.
And then we get to, I believe it's the Chargers pick.
It's the Chicago Bears. But here's the thing with the Bears. They only have 4 picks in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
You got your quarterback. You still need other things. And I think here they can safely trade down and get more capital and still address some needs.
Yep.
So I think here, because their picks are, what are the picks that they currently have? Let's just pick. They have 1, 9, 75, and 122.
Yeah.
So, what? So the 2 firsts, and then a 3rd and a 5th, I think. That's how the math works. Yeah, that should be like a 5th. Kind of need to build up some. So
Yeah.
I would say right here, Bears should trade down and build for the future. So looking at teams who could move here, I think the most interesting, there's a lot of interesting guys here, but with this class, I think the most interesting or the most plausible teams to trade up are trading up for Neighbors or Brock Bowers.
Mm-hmm.
We got just a couple. The teams that would likely move up for those 2 guys, Chargers, Colts, Bengals, or Bills. Chargers and Bills for Neighbors, and then Colts definitely for Bowers. Bengals, depending on what they're doing with T. Higgins, could be either, but assuming they're sticking with T. Higgins,
Mm-hmm.
they could still trade up here for Bowers.
Yeah.
But I think with draft capital alone, and just ease of being able to move up here, and also desperate need for a weapon, I think the Chargers move up here.
Yeah, because what is it? They basically cleaned full house, basically. So they're gonna need a receiver specifically, because I don't think Herbert wants to throw to Quentin Johnson for the entire next season, who has shown that he cannot pull through in big moments. So I would say that Neighbors would be picked up by the Chargers here, because they're gonna need him. I think that's their biggest concern right now. So yeah, I think Chargers would move up here and take that pick.
Yeah.
Take Neighbors.
All right, so Chargers move up here, and we said take Malik Neighbors with the best receiver on the board, left. I take that. Jets come on the clock. They need receiver, tackle, tight end are their three probably most likely addresses in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Last time we had them take Brock Bowers, I believe.
Yeah, we had him taking a tight end.
But here, I don't think they take receiver first round. It's a deep class, and you have Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams, plus some other guys. But
I think in this situation, you need to build up that line, especially what happened to Rodgers this last season. They also don't have a great line to begin with.
They did add Tyron Smith and Morgan Moses, but they're older, and I'm fairly certain one of them is only on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, so they're going to need some more, I guess, power and strength on that side.
And just get like a young guy to sit behind. And maybe they move him around, but to get a young guy, throw him in there. He'll take over eventually. I don't see how that could be a lose situation. So you look at, I think tackle, at least this go around, I think tackle. There's a lot of guys here. Fashion is probably the highest valued left, especially as a left tackle.
Yeah.
But the Jets have been very interested, from what I've seen, in Fuanga.
Yeah, I was about to say Fuanga.
I think he can play more positions, which I think he's more versatile and a little bit more power. So I think he'd be more valued for them. And I just think that's where they go. It seems like a Jets thing to do.
No, that's for sure.
Not that he's bad, but
No.
Who knows?
Yep.
We'll take it until next year. Bears come back on the clock. None of the players they were really looking at are really taken, because they probably were going to go defense here unless they go receiver, but
I think they stick with defense because they're going to need to amp up that line.
Yeah.
Or just everything in general.
Yeah, plus if they were going to go receiver, they wouldn't have traded down, which
Exactly.
is why I think they traded down, because they were going defense anyways. And
they need an edge.
Yeah, it'd be edge or interior D-line. Interior D-line isn't... They're for, there's more down the board. There's not interior D-line really valued. That would fit the value here. Edge would be better. And there's Turner, there's Verse. We took Verse last time, and I still think that's probably just, the best fit for the Bears.
I think Verse goes here still. Because, what is it? I mean, there was always the concern for Dallas Turner specifically with his size and everything, but I don't think that really determines anything for the most part. But I still think Verse just fits that scheme a lot better. So
yeah,
I think Jared Verse would go to the Bears.
I just really like him going there.
So now we have the Broncos and Raiders situation where they need QBs really badly.
Broncos need to get one here because they don't need to get one here, but I think it'd be silly for them not to get one
Yeah,
because you have to wait.
a whole another round.
If it's not here, you're waiting and hoping for Spencer Rattler, which is just not a win-win situation. So I would. It's still Bo Nix or Michael Penix.
I think we had Bo Nix to the Broncos last time.
We took Bo Nix last time.
I think we flip him.
I think we could flip him. I think Michael Penix is valued as the more talented quarterback. Do I agree with that? No. But
No.
I have different views of talent, but he has more arm talent, that is for sure. And
Sure. And the arm talent is definitely something that the Broncos need.
you have to remember, Sean Payton is the head coach, and Michael Penix is closer to that Drew Brees than Bo Nix.
Bo Nix
And
is.
so, although
So I think with that arm strength, that gives him the leverage for Sean Payton to be like, hey, let's get this guy instead. So
Yeah.
I think Penix will be picked
12
here,
for the
then Bo Nix will be picked by the Raiders in this next spot.
You don't think they go anywhere else? Because they could wait.
They could, but do you really want to risk that?
I mean, last time we had them trade back up, we could see them go for a quarterback here. When was the last time we saw them take a quarterback in the first round, though?
My point exactly.
It's been so
Like I don't remember the last time they've done something like this. So
Did they take Derek Carr in the first round?
I don't believe so. I think he was second.
Because then the only person I could possibly think of before that went in the first round is Jamarcus Russell, and if that's the last first round quarterback you've taken, that's
No, he's second round pick of 2014, 36 overall.
So yeah, that means as far as like first round quarterbacks that have panned out, or not even that have panned out, but first round quarterbacks that are notable.
Mm-hmm.
Jamarcus Russell, and he was one of the biggest busts in NFL history. So
I
maybe
would just
they-
take Knicks.
yeah,
Just
maybe
take
they
Knicks.
actually get it right this time.
Hopefully.
If they
No.
go Knicks and he turns out to just be another Russell, I don't think Knicks would be another Russell though. He actually
No.
cares. He actually doesn't have like effort issues, but yeah, Bo Nix here. Like-
No, we have the Saints.
Yep.
So the Saints are in dire need of a lot of things. However, I do think, I was about to say tackle is something that's been a glaring issue. So
they have one decent tackle, whose name is escaping my mind.
a good tackle.
The Saints have Ryan Ramczyk, who is
Oh.
a good tackle, but has some injury issues, and they have Trevor Penning, who they hoped would actually kind of be that starting tackle, but has not put up, especially in the pass protection game. So I think here they go and really just fix that line because they really need a solid O lineman, and I think they go here and with Fashanu falling all the way
right there. I'd
falling all
take
the way to
him.
14. I don't know how they don't pick him here.
Yeah, I'd take it. Take it.
So
Take him.
Saints take Fashanu.
Take him.
Colts come on the board and look at that. They didn't have to trade up. They take a weapon here, and it's
It's kind of easy to figure out who it was.
yeah, because if you're taking a weapon here, it's Bowers or you reach for Thomas. Thomas absolutely could be taken this high, but I think probably Bowers,
I'd take
especially with
Bowers.
Richardson. That scramblers
Mm-hmm.
and tight ends tend to work well together. So yeah, I'd go Brock Bowers here. If I were the Colts, a pretty
If you were the Colts, I would.
easy
take
pick.
Bowers.
Seahawks here they need interior O-line and D-line, and it's a little bit further down the board, but like we mentioned with the Bears, there's no pressure to take any of them right now.
No, I would say probably trade with like let's see here. Who needs stuff?
Well, okay, so you look at if there's nothing here that they really need right now.
Yeah.
And they could get more value trading down, which is probably the smart thing. They tend to draft well later, anyways.
Well, I guess who would take the Seahawks position is my point.
Yeah, you
There's
look
like,
at what people need.
Miami.
Turner has fallen down from 10. You got Turner. Well, what you look at probably defense. There's a decent amount of O linemen still. Maybe Brian Thomas, but it's also a deep receiver class, so people probably would just wait.
Yeah. I would say in this situation, the teams that need a defensive piece need to move up in this situation.
Especially for like an edge, because there's some corner. There's only one corner off the board?
Yeah.
No corners off
Right
the board.
right now there might be one corner.
No corners off
No
the board.
corners, no corners. Never mind.
So no one has a reason to move up for corner.
No.
Edge, there's 2 off the board so far. I think
this is the point where they need to be aggressive. Because if there's already 2 edges off the board, then they're going to go fast.
especially with Turner there, I would say probably maybe your top 3 contenders for teams that could move up for an edge. Bengals maybe, Rams, Eagles.
I was about to say Eagles or Dolphins.
Buccaneers,
Buccaneers.
definitely, and honestly, they're at 26. And last time we did this, they needed an edge, and there weren't any left. With 2 left on the board and a desperate need for pass pressure.
So maybe
I
they
could
just jump the gun and get Turner here.
Yeah, especially just moving up 16 or
Yeah.
216. I'm moving up 10 spots. I don't think they want to wait. If
No.
Seattle's looking to deal, I think Buccaneers trying to make a move. So I would say Buccaneers try and move up and take an edge. So Buccaneers move up 16, take an edge. You look Dallas Turner, you look Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson, he's not Micah Parsons, but you almost view him as someone who could be in that realm of a good edge rusher. He's extremely raw, but the potential is there, but it requires a little bit of work.
Yeah.
Dallas Turner's more refined, and I mean, you look at who the Buccaneers have had in the past. Like Shaq Barrett. Why is Shaq Barrett the only one I can think of? But like just the defensive pieces that they have generally come in and do really well. Like Levante David, those sort of pieces. I feel like Turner makes more sense here. He's a
He's
little
the most
more.
refined, but also,
He's just like he's ready to play.
yeah.
He's day 1 ready. He's not like
He also doesn't have to move, I guess, environments too much because, I mean, Alabama's pretty close to Florida, so.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, he's similar weather, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think he's a safer pick, and I think that's kind of what Buccaneers need on the edge right now. So I'd say Dallas Turner.
Yeah. I'm going to say Dallas Turner here. And then Jaguars are next up.
It's still corner receiver, and I still think they take a corner because
I think they will also take a corner. Because that's the thing. They've been taking a lot of corners. I mean, you know how they picked Ramsey and...
I'd love to see a world where they actually take a receiver here. It would make sense if they did.
But also, I don't
think
they need a receiver yet.
Oh, they could. I'd still argue that they could use one. It's a deep class, so I don't blame them too much. And taking a corner like Quinion Mitchell here, who is, in my opinion, probably the best one left, or is the best one on the board. I know Arnold is valued higher, and he's a good corner. Originally I was really low on him because I was like, a guy out of Toledo. As time goes on, I'm just like,
Did you watch film?
he might be the best. He might be the best one.
You've watched film?
A little bit.
A little bit?
I
Yeah, I
watched
was about to
some
say, because Mitchell's pretty good.
He did really well at the what's it called? Senior Bowl.
Senior Bowl? Okay.
That's what he did well at the combine as well.
I was about to say, he also did great at the combine.
He's done well. I haven't seen anything on his pro day, but combine, Senior Bowl, he was very, very notable. He's also the biggest, and it just like all of that incorporated. I think, because it's Mitchell, Arnold, and Wiggins. And Wiggins just doesn't fit it for me. That's why I'm like, it'd be between Arnold and Mitchell. And I just think Mitchell is the better corner.
We'll pick Mitchell here. I like that pick.
If they have to pick between Arnold and Mitchell, I think they're sitting there and going, oh, I can't go wrong.
I mean, they're both great corners.
Yeah, I think Mitchell's better. I like his chances better.
Dice.
Yep. Cincinnati comes on the board.
They have a solid O-line. If we're not thinking receiver,
assuming
with the Higgins situation,
assuming they stick with Higgins, then you only need a third receiver, and you can get that later in the draft.
I'd say they probably stick with the defense, specifically that line.
Yeah, they lost.
I don't know who they would pick though.
They lost DJ Reader to the Lions, so
yeah.
Interior D line.
It's like a defensive tackle then.
Yeah, probably an interior. I mean, Murphy and Newton are still there. Seahawks sitting there going, wait a minute.
Hold on a second. I think the Bengals. Well, yeah, they pick a defensive tackle. It's either going to be
Newton or Murphy.
Yeah, Newton or Murphy. I'm curious to see them picking Newton though for some reason. I don't know. Because is it what?
I looked down the book. Have you heard any of the news on T'Vondre Sweat? He's the Texas D tackle who got caught drunk driving.
Oh.
He got caught with a DUI. He dropped down the board a little bit. I was looking for his name. Originally he was like 40, 50 valued. Now he's at like 90.
Oh.
So I was just like, oh.
Oopsies.
That
tarnishes your reputation right there.
Yeah, because he was considered to maybe be a first round D tackle, but after that he just dropped the bunch, which is funny. But
anyway,
yeah, Newton or Murphy here. I
like Newton.
Yeah, Newton probably. He just seems like he fits more in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Illinois, so
yeah, Illinois. It's close, but it's also just like the kind of defense that they play is kind of Big Ten, like stout Big Ten defense versus Big 12 defense.
Yeah,
they're just like it seems like it fits what the Bengals would do. I don't know how to describe it, but it just seems like it fits more. So I'd say Newton.
For sure.
Rams come on the board, and I think probably I still think edge.
Yeah. Do you think they take like a Chop Robinson here? Do you think they take someone else down the board, or?
I don't think this edge class is as good as years past, especially down the board.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chop Robinson, maybe Darius Robinson, or maybe your two, maybe not even Trice. I don't know how much the other guys are going to come in and make an impact, and the Rams really need an impact.
Yeah.
We mentioned that Chop Robinson is like a work in progress, but we put him with McVay on that D-line.
And then you also have to remember that Rams just lost Aaron Donald.
They did.
So they need another like explosive piece on the defense.
Yeah, and then
whether it's young or a big name. So the Rams kind of need to fix that edge position.
Yeah, especially because it'd be edge or corner, and they picked up some
plenty
pieces.
Of corners.
They picked up some corners. They're gonna be like a stopgap, but if you're looking, you need a first round impact. You don't pick up those corners. I don't think if you're gonna pick up a first round corner. So
no,
I think Chop Robinson, put him with McVay.
Yeah,
and he's gonna. I think he could shred O-lines.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see that. So Robinson, Chop
Robinson. Then the Steelers. they're going to need some protection for the quarterback.
Do we
whoever.
Do we stick with who did we have? Do we stick with Mims like we did last time? He seems like he fits.
Mims, I don't know why, but Mims fits that. I don't know. I can see him in a Steelers jersey.
I didn't realize how big he was.
He's a big dude.
He's 6'7", listed here 6'7". I've seen 6'8" as well. 6'7", 6'8", 340 pounds.
He's a big guy.
And
I think that's what you need on that line. So
I think those Steelers look at, especially. I mean, they took Darnell Washington last year, who not a lot of people noticed, but like I knew him as the huge tight end. He's like 6'7" or so, and I was like, that's the big boy. I want to where he goes. And he went to the Steelers. So I was like, God, son of a. But yeah, like a big guy like that, especially because he can move a little bit. He's really athletically talented. Does it mean it's going to transfer? I don't know. I haven't really seen it with the Steelers lately, but I see that as a big potential move. They kind of like their athletes. They're like big, strong athletes. So,
I'd say they probably stick with Mims here, because they whoever is under center, they're gonna need protection there. That hasn't been a huge issue, but it's also an issue that they need to fix. They have plenty of weapons on the defense. They just need to fix that offense, and that's what they were going into this offseason, was fixing that offense for the most part. So yeah, I'd say they take Mims here.
Yeah, that'll help with what they need, if he's any good. Dolphins got him on the board, and at 21, they're probably going to go offense. Probably offensive line.
I'd say O-line. Do you think they will take Fautanu here?
They got... Okay, so there's some tackle prospects left, but there's also some... I still really like Barton and Powers Johnson, but they're less valued, and I could see... Tackles are hard to find.
Yes.
Good tackles are hard to find in the NFL. If you have guys like this fall, like Latham and Fautanu, I find it hard for a team like the Dolphins, who could definitely use a tackle, to pass, even if those other guys are there. Because, I think.
I mean, if it's right there, I take it. So, do you think they would Latham? Or are you thinking?
I feel like Fautanu. I feel like I could see him taking either. I think Fautanu is.
Fautanu, I think, is better.
I think. Well, yeah.
I don't know much about.
I don't know.
tackles, but
I think Fautanu, at the very least, is more the wheelhouse of like a McDaniels offense.
Okay.
So Fautanu.
Okay.
Eagles come on the board, and they need
everything. Just kidding.
Oh. They could take a corner.
Oh, they could take a corner.
Terrion Arnold just falls to them.
They could just take Arnold here.
I'd say beautiful if they sat there and Terrion Arnold just fell to them, and it'd be another year of, why are you letting them take him? Why?
I don't know. Some people are dumb.
It happens every year.
Front offices, they like to overestimate, or they like to think a little too much about certain prospects, and that's why we have these situations.
Well, and there's also just the factor of needs, but like
needs are
Terrion Arnold would just be like
they're not so much concerned about the other teams when it comes to their needs.
Yeah, because it absolutely needs to be corner or something in the defensive backfield. Now, did you already have him take?
I already had him take Arnold. Okay. I just think
because it'd be one of two people. I don't think they take Nate Wiggins.
No.
So honestly, one of two teams take him here, or they take one of two guys here if this is how this falls, and it's Arnold or Cooper DeJean. who I think actually kind of would fit. But for the sake of this one, they can go Arnold. I mean, he's near top 10 talent as far as a
I was
corner.
going to say, like,
and he falls.
they're going to need him.
They could take him, but I wouldn't be surprised if they took DeJean either. I think both fit. Chargers here. They could take they could take another receiver. They could take two. Do they? I don't know, because I think they have
That's a little bold.
It would be bold, but they also don't really have like they don't have like anyone. I don't think they'd go 2 in the first round.
No.
That's a little too aggressive, especially because they have other holes.
So what do they need? They need, let's see here.
Oh, a tackle.
They need a tackle.
Tackle would be good.
I mean, Latham's right there.
Latham is there. Again, it's so hard to know what the Chargers are going to do because they have a new GM.
Yeah.
Years past, it was always like, get the big guy.
Yeah.
Big guy, yeah.
That always works out in the end.
It didn't work. Look at the receiver room. It was just a bunch of big guys. And it was like, oh.
Okay.
Especially last year.
Oh.
But yeah, you need some protection for Herbert. You're between Latham, Guyton, Suamatia, maybe Jordan Morgan.
I mean, if Latham falls to you like that, I don't think there's a reason why to not take him.
Yeah, I definitely think it's tackle here. It's just hard to tell what they're going to do with a new GM. It's always hard to tell with new GMs what they're going to draft because GMs like to draft in a certain way. And new regime, it's hard to tell. I think the safe bet would be Latham as a guess.
Yeah. I was about to say, because are we thinking, are they going to be smart? Or are they going to go with their gut? Like, are we going to assume that they're going to be smart?
Yeah, well, the smart thing is taking a tackle.
Yeah.
You just don't know what that offense is going to look like, and you don't know how their GM operates because it's a new regime in Los Angeles. So,
all right.
And then the Cowboys sitting here.
How about the Cowboys? They need a lot.
I think they go two things here. Somewhere on the O-line. Or linebacker.
They lost
Tyron
Smith, so they might need to fill his vacancy first. I think they should.
That's true, but they also had extreme issues with run defense, and
you're right.
They added was Eric Kendricks, who is
they might need to
fix
that rush.
And I think linebacker is probably the move. There's obviously other things they need to do. Mozzie Smith, they had cut a bunch of weight, and so he was just like ineffective as a run stopper. But I think if they bulk him back up, he'll be good. I don't think they double down and go Byron Murphy here.
No.
But
you think a linebacker would be something they need?
It's linebacker or offensive lineman. Linebackers, there's not as many top tier ones, but there's usually like a linebacker or two that goes in the first round. And I think
Do you think? Because the first one I see is Cooper.
I think the only two. Wilson's valued so much lower. I could see Wilson jumping a little bit. I think Edgerrin Cooper is probably the only one who actually would. I don't know. But like also with how this is valued, they could wait. It looks like there's more prospects in like the second, third round, so they could just go O-line. You still have Barton, Powers Johnson, and Guyton there. Depending on if they go tackle or interior O-line. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think, O-line or linebacker?
They need to fix that rushing defense. Now that you brought that up, I think that's what they need to fix first. So, I mean, if there's going to be a linebacker taken in the first round, it might as well be the Cowboys taking like a Wilson or Cooper.
You can take a guy out of Texas, too.
No, you could.
A&M, but
A&M,
still Texas.
Still Texas. So we can give him Cooper.
Yeah, especially they just lost Vander Esch. I don't know what the Cowboys. I don't know what Jerry Jones is doing this offseason.
I think he's
throwing everything away. We're going all in to the trash.
To our graves.
Yeah, I guess Cooper,
Yeah, I'd say Cooper would be taken here.
which is I'm gonna laugh if that happens, but I'm not surprised if it happens. But I'd laugh.
You're gonna laugh. So Green Bay, they need. What was their biggest need? They needed It's something on defense. Was it corner? Or was it
Corner, safety mostly.
safety?
Safety corner.
was-
They could use an O lineman.
I think their defense was the biggest issue, wasn't it?
It was. They had issues, but they also got a new defensive coordinator.
True. But I think anything on the defense would help that situation. So probably if we're thinking cornerback or safety, Wiggins is right there. McKinstry is there. Safeties, you got Deshaun.
DeJean can play
DeJean.
both corner. He is versatile. He can play inside corner, outside corner, safety, which I think just would work so well for
With
the
Green
Packers.
Bay, yeah. I think DeJean would probably go here.
I think the only way he doesn't, maybe the Packers go something safe like O-line, but
They need to be aggressive this time around.
the thing is there are safeties down the board, like Tyler Nubin, who is a very good safety. He's like a ball hawk. But they could get him in the second round, which is why I could see them waiting. I think, though, if they have the chance, I like Cooper DeJean here.
Yeah, so I'd take it if you can.
Yeah, he's
Because a lot of these are just falling into people's laps. at
he's
this
that
point,
Iowa
so.
corner who we've seen too many times, and I'm just like, he's so good. God
We
damn
hate
it.
it. We hate him.
Yeah, but I'm gonna love him when he gets to. If he does well, which I'm hoping he can play a little bit of corner, so he can be a white corner in the NFL.
Just for the moment, yeah.
I'll be like, I know you're from Iowa, but I don't care right now. It's like George Kittle. I'm like, I know
Yeah.
you came from Iowa.
But he's pretty fun.
Yeah,
So
Packers DeJean.
DeJean, yeah.
I
And
just
then we just want to see him.
freaking God, your Seahawks. You still have, Byron Murphy, but also you can still go interior O line as well, because both of them are there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go O line or do you go D line?
What did we choose the last time? Wasn't it D-line?
I think it was D line, but I also feel like D line is more of a need here.
D-line's more of a need here. So if we're going D-line,
I think
Murphy is right there.
I think it'd be Murphy.
I don't see anything saying that they can't.
They could go interior O line, and I wouldn't be mad here. But I think interior D line is more of a need for them, and usually interior O line you can build down the board.
Yeah.
So
I'd say they take him.
Murphy, which I think we had him take last time.
I don't remember, but it's whatever.
Cardinals come on the board, and they got their receiver, so now they're just sitting there going
What else do we need?
defense.
They
You take best defensive player available here. Edges. You could look at Robinson, but for the most part, edges. The top edges are gone. Top D tackles are gone.
corners, there's still a couple.
Corner maybe safety, but you have Buddha. I think Buddha Baker.
Not Buda Baker.
I think corner. I think Wiggins. I think he fits that Cardinals team. Like that. It's Jonathan Gannon. It's a little bit different than what I'm used to, but I'm used to Cardinals being quick and speedy.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of fits that perfectly. He's undersized, not as good in the run game, but he'll be
He's good
great.
with
He'll be great against the pass. He's got
Oh yeah. He's
fantastic
all over
speed.
the pass.
I'd say Wiggins.
Wiggins.
Bills looking to they could go a lot of things. They have a lot of needs, but I think they look into Brian Thomas here.
Yeah, I was about to say he's right there.
Unless God,
They
there's
could
so
fix
many
the.
good,
They
there's
could
so
be
many good
fixing their
receivers.
defense as well because they did get rid of
A lot of guys.
A lot of guys. So.
They also lost O linemen too. They lost Mitch Morse. They lost so many people. They could go anything here. You think maybe someone trades up here?
I think the Bills are pretty worried about their situation though, so I'd say they probably stick here. They got to pick something here.
Because here's the thing. With what the Bills need, they could use day 2 and 3 picks, I think they could use some. With the needs that they have, because they need to build through the draft, and their draft picks are later, so moving up a little bit would be good. I don't see how Brian Thomas makes it past this pick. Whether it's Brian Thomas gets picked here or someone trades up with the Bills to take Brian Thomas. I
don't know.
It'd
None of those teams down there would trade up for.
it'd probably be someone in the second.
So, I mean,
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I know you don't see. We haven't seen him in the first round because they didn't have a first round pick. But the Panthers are at 33.
Panthers might be bold and trade up.
They could be. Because I don't know where they're going to go. They have so many problems.
Honestly, I see the Panthers taking that risk.
Moving up for Brian Thomas here.
I would say that, yeah. So I think Thomas Jr. will be.
Yeah,
the
that is
Panthers.
That is the. I just don't see. It's even hard seeing him get past. Like getting down to 28, but like you also look at who's in that range. I think someone will take him, honestly. But when you get to like 24, 25, 20, like a bunch of those teams don't even need a second receiver or whatever. But he could. It'll be interesting soon. Thomas. Lions come on the board. Their defense, probably corner, but they could take an edge. And Darius Robinson.
They need defense. So anything for defense is good for them.
McKinstry or Tampa. I think they need corner.
They need a corner.
I
I just don't know anyone that's better than McKinstry though.
It'd be TJ Tampa or Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think Tampa's pretty good, but not.
McKinstry good.
I can just see the Lions taking Kool-Aid McKinstry. It makes a lot of sense in my head. Lions on the board at 29 take Kool-Aid McKinstry because they need a corner, and he's probably the best one, and I think it fits.
Yeah, I agree. So now it's the Ravens. What's the pick that you want?
What's the pick that I want?
Yeah.
I'd like to see him go receiver, but I think this is tackle or it's tackle or receiver. I think they're probably going to lean towards tackle. With
Didn't they
losing
take Barton? Didn't you guys take Barton the first time? I think Barton was first.
Who did we take? No, I think it was Fautanu. I think it was because he fell.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I
mean, Barton's right there.
Barton's there.
And Powers
Guyton's
Johnson.
there.
So any of those two would work.
Powers Johnson.
Those two would work, yes.
I feel like we need someone who can at least play on the outside. So Barton could be a possibility. Powers Johnson's more true interior lineman. Barton could play out there. Guyton could play out there.
So
Maybe Suamataya, but I don't think he does. It'd probably be Guyton or Barton.
Barton,
I think they'd go Guyton.
Guyton. Okay,
I think
we'll
that's
give him.
more-
We'll give him Guyton.
I think that's more likely. I wouldn't be as happy with that pick, but I mean, if he's good, I just don't. Yeah.
Niners.
Niners.
Anything really? Just kidding. They have like a very specific needs.
O-line and corner. I mean,
yeah.
that's what this has, but also just I think that just makes sense. O-line or corner.
So I'm seeing.
Corner would be Tampa again. I think he's the only one.
Corner would be Tampa.
If it is corner,
Okay.
it'd be Tampa. It could also be Barton. I don't know how good their interior linemen are. I mean, they have a pretty good run game, so I would assume that.
I think they're mostly fine at that point. I think their defense needs to fix up a couple things because those guys got kind of torn apart by the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Towards the end of it, yeah, but
go TJ Tampa,
okay.
and then
Tampa.
Chiefs at the end of the first round.
Wide receiver, they need one.
You know, we had the Panthers trade up for Brian Thomas. I like to think that if the Bills were looking to deal and Brian Thomas was there, the Chiefs would also go and be like, "We'll trade up, we'll do it," and the Bills were just like,
Nah. Fuck you guys.
"Fuck you, go home." Here, Panthers, take it. You'll mess this up. It's fine.
I'll give it to somebody later. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say
Pretty clear receiver. I think you see him take like maybe 2, maybe 3 receivers in this class. But first round,
Mitchell, Worthy, Coleman.
I'd say McConkey, Worthy, or Mitchell. I like to think Worthy just because he's fast. He runs real
Yeah.
fast, and I like to think the Chiefs are just like he can run fast. I think they're gonna go with
They're
the
probably
most sure-handed guy.
Sure-handed, yeah.
But I like to think that they're just like, hey, it's our
They-
Tyreek replacement.
I mean, if they have a Tyreek replacement, then they might just pick Worthy.
Yeah. So I think it'd be Worthy or Mitchell. I
I don't know why, but I say the Chiefs picking Worthy. Not because he's better than Mitchell. It's just
he's fast.
they want the fast guy.
He's
so
ran the fastest 40 time, and maybe
I'd
Chiefs
say the
are-
Chiefs would pick Worthy here.
He's also like they generally go with smaller receivers,
They do.
and
They
he
do.
is smaller. Would it be scary if they got Mitchell and a bigger receiver? Absolutely,
Yes.
but I think they stick with what they usually go with and take Worthy there.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So we'll go and take a look at this. Had some
Here.
more moves this time. It wasn't
Yeah.
just the Cardinals.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite picks out of this one?
Oh, let's see here.
I think the Brian Thomas one's actually.
The Brian Thomas one was a pretty.
Uh,
good one.
I'd like
I'd
to see.
say Cooper DeJean. Let's see here.
I always love Cooper DeJean to the
Mhm.
Packers.
Romanduzze.
Romanduzze.
To the Giants. That one's a interesting one.
That is an interesting one.
Jaden Daniels going to the Vikings is also pretty interesting. There's a few where it's like, yeah, that makes sense, but the other one, because one thing happened, the other things happened. So I
Yeah.
like this one. This one,
Yeah.
I think I do like the first one more, but this one's more interesting. I feel like.
I think this one's also more. It's just because there needs to be movement. Otherwise, it's not going to end up anywhere close. Because there's always movement.
Oh yeah, there's
And-
always going to be movement,
I like,
especially in this.
especially with like the Chargers taking Neighbors and Latham here. First of all, I think that'd be a great draft
Yes.
for the Chargers. But if I think that's possible that they take a receiver and a tackle later. Bears moving around, getting some more capital. Buccaneers being bold. Eagles getting a corner for like nothing.
Basically, of it falling into their laps at that point.
Patriots sticking with a white QB.
Yep.
Still. I have no idea who their new GM is, so I don't know. Maybe they're influenced, but I don't know. I kind of like this one better.
Yeah, I can see why. I mean, this is a pretty interesting draft, mock draft. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna like this one. So
So let us know what you think. Was this one better than the last one, or
are we dumber or are we smarter?
are we getting dumber? I
This
think
is to go even further than beyond.
show you I can go even further. Yeah, I mean we'll have at least one more of these before draft comes out.
Mhm.
I am looking forward. I am looking forward to making a video comparing at least the first round of our mock drafts to first round of what actually happened.
Mhm.
We'll be covering plenty more with the draft in the next week and a half. So look out for that stuff. But as for this one, version 2.0 is a wrap. Appreciate you coming and watching, and we will see you guys in the next video.
See you.